Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And of course we're here for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Episode 5,
The Dark Knights. Now that is plural.
Mm-hmm.
So either
otherwise Batman's, the second Christopher Nolan movie, would be a freaking JoJo's reference.
yes.
Kind of might be.
Yeah, it could
Batman itself might be a JoJo's reference.
But barring multiple Batmans showing up in this episode, which
exactly.
would be bizarre and great, and it would be a pop culture reference.
True. I could see this more of being a kind of side kind of episode.
Yeah.
Villain of the week, kind of.
Or it could be like a dual villain, you know?
Sure.
Like Team Rocket blasting off.
Oh my gosh. But Dark Knights essentially seems like a group of people that Dio would probably have sent to stop JoJo.
Okay. I could see that.
And we just have to see JoJo deal with them.
Yes.
I want to know more about Hamon and what this whole power system really is. I like what we have so far. I want to know more. I also really like this Zeppeli character, so I hope he sticks around longer than
I need more of him.
Just a couple episodes. Speedwagon is growing on me. You know?
Yes.
He's pretty fun.
Speedwagon is pretty great.
He's kind of the hype man for JoJo.
Absolutely.
And I like characters like that as long as they're handled well. And right now JoJo's is just making it so over the top. It makes it just a joy
fantastic.
to watch. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just get into this episode and see what happens. Yeah. Knights of Darkness. Instead of the Dark Knights.
Gotcha.
仕事をしている人々だ。町はまだ何ともないようだ。
That means they're all going to die
ディオは
soon.
この町のどこかに必ずいる。どうしました？
いや、スピードワゴン君があまり言うもんだからね。一時的に軽い刃物なら作れるようにしてやろうと思ったんだけど、ちょいとミスった。指が滑っちゃった。いや、
Wow.
すまない、スピードワゴン君。
おめえだ。
Whoa. What the? Whoa.
あのカバンには全財産が入ってんだぜ。
I love the kind of the ripple effect that they have for this.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's cool. Don't kill him.
I think he's just trying to shake him up.
いい
Sure.
音響だったぞ、ジョジョ。
Fall from that
オーバードライ
high.
ブが確実に伝わっていく音だ。ナイスキャッチ。
Nice catch.
あれ何あんたたち誰
この少年様子が少しおかしいですよ。
いや、おかしいのはこの少年だけじゃないぞ。周りを見ろ。
Ooh.
ここは墓場。
Oh, crap.
どうやらおびき出されてナイスキャッチされたのはわしらの方らしいぞ。
Yeah, quite the trap.
その少年、
Jeez.
催眠術をかけられとったようだ。
日は落ちた。
Whoa.
All right.
Dio.
There we go.
Here we go.
ディオ。
早がってきた
俺はこの瞬間に
Oh, yeah,
Speedwagon.
here we go.
だがやはりどす黒い気分になるぜ。汗が吹き出す。あの野郎があんなにいい気になってピンピンと生きてることによ。
Yeah, you called Dio out on his crap.
染めの裏切りで返した男。あいつだけは。
奴がディオか。何としてもあの男を消滅させねばならん。
Good luck with that.
Fated battle between men. Whoa. I love how
I like him to
Zeppeli
use
has
it.
this kind of gambit kind of look to
Right.
him.
ブランド。
Like he's a magician.
個人的には貴様のことは知らん。だが貴様を目覚めさせた石仮面に対して会えていよう。
Speaking to the mask.
とうとう会えたな。 ヘイベイビー、そんな不安定なところで戦う気か。降りてこい。
図に乗るなよ、たかが虫けらが。俺は生物界の頂点、未来を開く新しい
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, dude.
と対等の地に降りて行けるか。
こいつなんと圧倒的な悪の大気を、すでに暴帝になりつつある貫禄か。
Yeah.
貴様、一体何人の
Yeah, a
命を
lot.
その傷のために吸い取った。
Bad a few.
お前は今まで食った
Oh
パ
my
ンの枚数を覚えているのか。
I don't eat bread.
I'm gluten intolerant. You bastard. Oh no, Zeppeli, don't die.
Yeah, this almost looks like the tragic death of the mentor.
Yeah.
Oh.
流し込む太陽の波紋、サンライトイエローオーバードライブ。
Ooh.
やったぞ。アモンがディオの腕を伝わっていくぞ。
Unless that actually is making him stronger.
貧弱貧弱。
凍っている。
What?
これは。
愚か者が貴様の腕ごと亀を砕くように頭蓋骨を陥没してくれる。
Oh, nice. Okay.
僕が打ち砕く。ディオの手、悪意の血液の流れを感じる。俺にとっては褒め言葉よ。だがしかし、よくぞこの俺の拳の動きを止めた。
Everything's frozen in time.
Right.
ジョジョ。
ジョジョ、俺がお前ならいつまでも俺の手に触れてない。
There's that kid there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
boy.
なんてこった。
Zeppeli, get Zeppeli. Oh, good.
すごく冷たい。冷たすぎてやけどするみたいだ。凍った金属を触ったように皮が剥がれている。
Oh.
ゼペリのおっさんの腕が。波紋、呼吸法だと。へいへい吹くなら。
What?
ガンマンがこの俺のためにファンファーレでも吹いてるのが似合っているぞ。タルカス、黒騎士ブラフォード、もはや俺が出るまでもない。出てきてこいつらにファンファーレという悲鳴を吹かしてみろ。
Jeez. He really does fancy himself a god.
Yeah. So JoJo's gonna have to fight it one-on-one.
No, it's something coming out from the bottom, yeah.
Oh.
この虫けらどもの駆除はお前たち二人に任せるぞ。好きにしろ。指一本で岩を持ち上げただけじゃなく、
Okay.
飛ばしやがった。
あのゾンビども、二人ともジョジョへ。
Or JoJo's moving for them.
Yeah.
無理だ。2対1では勝てん。この腕に血液さえ通えば。これならどうだ。
What?
スピードワゴン君。
極寒地に住む奴らはよ、凍傷にかかった時アザラシの体内に入って治していたぜ。貴様の血をいただくぜ。
Oh. Oh, hair tentacle powers, though.
Yeah.
No, no good.
Always
吸い取って
OP.
いるのか。
スピードワゴン、君ってやつは。
俺はよ、あんたやジョースターさんの足手まといになるためについてきた
Aw,
んじゃねえぜ。
Speedwagon, come on, man. We need you.
吸血するなら逆にこの髪の毛から波紋を送り込んでやる。サンライトイエローオーバードライブ。波紋ができない。血液を吸い取られているから波紋が弱いのか。
わしは君を軽んじておった。いざという時逃げ出す男だと。すまなかった。
礼は戦いが終わって生き延びてから言ってんだ。
What the heck?
早く傷を癒し、 戦う状態にせねば。
俺の氷のやけどの痛みも忘れてしまうほどの戦慄。ジョースターさんの195センチの体が小さく見えるほどのビッグサーベル。左手に溜める炎の波紋。スカーレットオーバードライブ。
Ah, there we go.
なんと忘れていた。ジョースターさんにも背負っているものがある。亡き父への思いと未来への希望が。俺たちの希望が。
That's right, there's others too.
Oh. Oh my god. Oh. That's disgusting.
Okay.
この若者なかなか根性の座った男。このブラフォードにこの者の命の幕を引かせていただきたい。好きにしろ。タルカス、手出し無用。なんだ、両腕を後ろへ回しているぞ。どっちの腕で攻撃してくる。それとも足か。意外、それは髪の毛。しまっ。ほう、勘のいいやつ。俺のダンスマカブヘアに気づくとは。このディオ、もうこの場にいる必要なし。いよいよウィンドナイツロットの町住民全員をゾンビにする。あと一昼夜のうちに。そしてこの町からゾンビがイギリス中に
So
広
you
が
can
る。
fly too. Alright.
さあ、溺れしないうちに何とかしてみろ。この距離、彼より先に水面に出れるか。
Only one way to
Probably
find
not
out.
with the hair. No.
Yeah, probably not.
断末魔の一瞬、ジョジョの精神内に潜む爆発力がとてつまない冒険を生んだ。
なんだこいつ。
何？ダニーがおもちゃの鉄砲を加えて離さない。それは無理やり引き離そうとするからだよ。逆に考えるんだ。あげちゃってもいい
Yeah.
さ。
Okay. Ah.
あった。つまり水没した岩の隙間に空気があるはず。これだ。一呼吸あれば刻むぞ。
Wow.
Alright,
That's
alright.
legit.
Nice.
水中での戦いが不利になったのは貴様の方だ。たやすいぞ。アモンが水中を伝わるのは水中のためのタークイズブルーオーバードライブ。
Okay.
Alright.
I think this is probably one of the weaker episodes.
Yes.
It's okay to say that because
Because
It's-
it didn't resolve everything in this episode.
right.
Yeah, and we know that Dio probably won't be in the next episode, or at least not very much.
I'd say that Dio's presence made this better than it.
Yes,
than
absolutely.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Because the fight being primarily between him and JoJo.
Yeah.
I always get his name confused. JoJo.
Yes.
What's his first name again? Jonathan?
Joseph?
Jonathan. It's Jonathan.
Okay.
Yeah. With Jonathan being kind of having the brother rivalry thing with Dio, when the fight gets to that point where they will actually be engaging with each other, it'll get interesting. But when Dio is like obviously there and does the thing of I'm above you, I will send my peons to
Right.
fight for you, and even better yet, I will have one of the peons fight you at a time so that you can
Right.
actually handle it.
And
I kind of
then-
go, okay.
And then he will fight you
fine."
without his sword.
Well, that I think is actually fine. I think because he's using the hair bits, it makes it
Sure,
completely
okay.
unique as opposed to him
Yeah.
just being a zombie meat sack with
Yeah.
a lot of strength
Yes.
and everything like that.
Yes.
But in this one, there's a lot of explaining going on. And I know this
Yes.
is a JoJo thing, so it's mostly okay.
Right.
We've kind of tempered our expectations with what the show will be in terms of kind of the style.
Yes, absolutely. Because, again, it's the idea that a lot of these things, like the fact that Dio had, fought them near a lake, specifically so that, if they ever went in there, I think they mentioned that anyways, so that if they went in there, they wouldn't be able to breathe and wouldn't be able to use their powers, things like that. Or like, what was that? He vaporized some liquid on his body or in his body, and then the energy from that had to be taken from somewhere else, which caused him to be like super cold, which then froze Zeppeli.
Yeah, that was really clever.
Yeah.
I think that kind of thing is where the rules aspect of how these powers work isn't as important, but the fact that they explain it makes it kind of be these adaptable rules.
We are pulling it out of our butts, but
we're going to explain how we do it.
Exactly.
Which I think makes it kind of comical and fun, but it's still really silly. It's super fun, but super silly.
Right.
I like that Dio is being such a diva right now.
Yes.
He is on top of this massive rock pillar, like
literally the biggest one. It's
I am a god, do
not
not lower myself to the human level.
Oh boy.
You are all insects. Like he literally won't come down because he's too busy being a diva god. You know?
Like, what was that pose that he did? He bent way backwards, so his head was almost like facing the other direction.
Yep.
It's just
it's one of the things we've heard about JoJo's is the way you win in a fight with JoJo's is you strike a fabulous pose.
Yes.
And you're unbeatable. And they really had that where they froze the three of them in place where their hands were all
right, even though only
locked.
one of them was touching the ground.
Right, Dio, of course.
Right.
I liked that bit, though, where after they had been spinning around with the angle, they had Dio essentially cross his hands like this, and he spun them both. And it had this kind of after-image effect instead of doing true animation, so it saves on budget, but it was kind of a clever thing that they had shown previously. I'm trying to remember what episode they showed that in, but they showed something similar to it. And I'm like, oh, if that's a JoJo style thing, that's fine. I'll take it. That's pretty cool.
Watching that part, like just thinking about it now, it's making me dizzy. Like,
yeah, that was a little bit. That made me a little bit dizzy too. But with Dio being kind of a zombie overlord now and having these incredible powers, JoJo kind of needs to keep learning from Zeppeli in order to actually be able to do anything against Dio.
Yeah.
So...
But Zeppeli doesn't look like he's going to die. We had Speedwagon.
Yeah.
Total bro.
Helping Zeppeli.
Yep.
At that moment there. What was he doing?
He was... Well, because the idea is that if Dio froze part of Zeppeli's arm, right, then it would need to be heated back up. And the only source that they had was basically he was using his own body heat.
Was he using his own body heat, or was he using the Hamon in combination with his body heat?
I don't think so. I think that was what JoJo did to
So what did he do? Did he shove his arm in his armpit or something? Like...
No, he just held it up against his stomach.
There's like barely any body heat with regards to that. Oh, I see. Because it's so cold, it's actually burning Zeppeli.
Right, exactly.
Right, he's getting a frost burn, essentially.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. Because that causes Speedwagon a lot of pain.
Exactly.
And he's doing it to save
Zeppeli.
JoJo.
Well, yeah, JoJo and...
By
Zeppeli.
extension, helping Zeppeli.
Yes.
I thought the really funny part where Zeppeli decides to give Speedwagon a little jump start on his Hamon by doing the pinky fingering, essentially.
And... He missed.
Well, no, it was like he was being sarcastic by saying, like, well, my finger slipped, you know? Like,
right, yeah.
Like he didn't do a perfect strike when it's more of like showing how they're not really best friends yet.
Exactly, yeah.
Speedwagon wants power so that he can actually help JoJo, but it's
like, no, you're the side character.
You need to stay a side character.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
This one felt a little bit kind of odd in the direction that they randomly went to this town, but I know that was where they were on their way to from the previous episode.
That's true.
But this finding Dio so quickly thing, I guess, is a little bit unique, because generally they would just find the side character villains,
right, and they'd have
them
to
and move on. But now it's like, no, they found Dio, but they actually aren't even going to be able to fight him because he's that strong.
Right, and so my question is, when they finally beat all these guys, because even if they beat the one guy that was in the water, they still have the bigger guy.
Right.
And then after that, they'll probably go to the town to try and save it. Will Dio already have left? Or will he still be there?
I think Dio will have left. I think they're going to play a little bit of a wild goose chase for the next few episodes as they chase after Dio.
Okay.
And Dio will constantly be just out of their reach and also just out of their power capacity to deal with.
Right. Yeah, so JoJo's going to have to do some serious power leveling.
Yeah, and on that respect, JoJo is actually smart. Like, that part where
Yeah.
he utilized the coal and the air underneath it, that's a
Right.
legit thing. But the fact that he knew about that seems a little bit kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, because, well, and now, granted, there is a big difference between book smarts and street smarts.
Yes.
And we have established quite firmly that JoJo has basically no street smarts.
Yeah.
But he does seem to have some book smarts, because
A little bit, yeah.
I mean,
the way
at the
his
very least,
father
they were well
educated him and
taught.
stuff.
Yeah.
I like that he was utilizing his father's knowledge and wisdom about how to get something from the dog,
Right.
that doesn't want him to have the thing.
Right.
So you basically let them have it and give them the false sense of security so that when they chase after you, you then take it when they're not ready.
Right, because JoJo probably couldn't have defeated him in one punch if it had been like above ground, because he would have been expecting it.
Yeah.
Right?
And him in this disadvantage is basically saying, ha, I am going to give you a huge nerf to your abilities, but only a slight nerf to mine.
Right.
And then I'll be able to handle you, and anytime you try to get back out, I'll just drag you back under again.
Right.
Which I think is actually kind of clever. I like fights where they change the environment and dramatically kind of shift things around like that. But this episode, I think, needs to be taken in context with what's going to be coming next.
Right, because they did leave it as a cliffhanger of, okay, the fight's not totally over yet.
And not really much happened to this one.
That's true.
They
That's
also
very
need
true.
to go into what Poco's character is, if at all.
Right.
He's going to be involved in the story.
Yeah.
Also, I wasn't a huge fan of the way they shifted to a massive backstory dump on these two knights in the service of Mary and the story with Queen Elizabeth I. Even though I'm a big history buff, like, guys, I'm a huge history buff, the aspect of having those kinds of things involved in a fight seems like generally padding for time and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
and the thing is, it's not even necessarily the problem of doing backstory stuff like that, because backstory is good. But they literally brought these guys up, and Dio's like, everyone knows who they are, but in case the viewers don't,
right.
let's give this. And
I would have rather had a little bit of annoying telling exposition from Dio about how strong they were, and then Speedwagon be like, oh, I can sense it, it's so powerful. And then Zeppeli confirming it by like reading their energy.
Sure.
And then maybe having one of them hit JoJo in a way that he wasn't expecting, like with the hair. And then you go, wow, they even have techniques we won't be prepared for. And then they just start the fight.
And
that would be enough.
Yeah, you could have done that. They also could have done something where basically they are coming at, JoJo and gang, and they start talking. You could have them start talking and be like, we have been dead for 300 years. We weren't able to avenge our queen, but we will kill you. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna take our vengeance on the world, which they basically did say.
Right.
But that was in conjunction with the backstory.
Right.
They could have
done that with maybe a bit more detail and then left out the backstory.
And now this is the JoJo style of things.
Yes.
And also we've been told that this season, as it were, is the weakest one. So this is just an example of where it can get a little bit weak, which I'd say is fine, because the overall conflict between Dio and JoJo, I love.
Yes,
I love it.
So entertaining.
It's actually a very strong, kind of reason why for them to actually hate each other.
Right.
And Dio, I like that he's going kind of a little bit crazy in his evil. But I would love to know...
Because he wasn't already?
Well, no, because he now has the means. But I would love to see how it ties back to the mask at some point in the future.
I would love to see if, maybe the mask was sentient, possibly. Like, if it starts whispering to Dio.
Maybe, if anything, the mask has that kind of key aspect to it.
Sure.
That it's constantly unlocking something.
It's
not that it's just going to unlock something and then it's done. That there is this exchange, this relationship going on. And it's not necessarily sentient, which would be still kind of cool if they did do that. But it's a thing of that he's going to get dependent on the mask and he's going to spend too much time with it.
Sure.
And what happens if you unlock things that you're not prepared for?
Okay.
Yeah.
That I would be very much pleasantly surprised if they ended up going that route.
I would like Dio to unlock too much power. And actually end up having to... he would end up being defeated by maybe his own strength. Because that's a very stereotypical thing that I could see JoJo maybe execute... JoJo's as a show executing it in a really cool way.
Yeah.
Where the bad guy gets defeated by their own power. That's just kind of a thing. But with the mask, there's all this kind of mysterious potential as to what the mask actually is.
Right.
Because JoJo randomly called it in like the first or second episode as the thing that unlocks the true potential of the brain, and that seems way too broad to be specifically relegated to vampires.
Right.
So maybe the blood aspect is where the vampire thing comes in.
Sure.
Or maybe it's just triggered by blood, or maybe it's actually triggered by Hamon, and the blood is just a vessel to communicate Hamon.
Yeah.
So some negative Hamon was splashed on it, the blood,
right?
And because someone was trying to murder someone. Right?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, there's a lot of ways that this can go. But as we've heard in the comments, it's almost impossible to predict JoJo's.
But we will try.
We will try.
And I really do like that idea of the power being too much for Dio, because the way they've set it up so far, I mean, how exactly are they supposed to kill him?
Yeah, he has. They told us with Mr. Exposition guy is 5 times as strong as
both
we are
of us
together.
Combined, yeah. And even if JoJo did get more powerful, there's still the problem that so far we've seen Dio be able to regenerate from basically anything. And he even said, I have perfect control over my body. If he can do the kind of stuff that he did, then he should be able to recover from basically any wound.
Right. So my question is, will they actually end up killing Dio at the end, or will they just kind of stop Dio?
Sure, seal him away, or have him get taken down by his own power.
I could see him actually them coming to a place where they say, all right, Dio, you have a choice. Like, we'll either walk you into the sunlight.
Sure. Yeah.
Or you basically have to, like, stop this or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's really the way that they have to defeat him. Just, if they can overpower him, then they can, keep him around long enough for the sun to come up, and then he's dead.
That is a good weakness for a villain to have. Yeah. I always like how
it's so absolute.
Yeah, I always like how conveniently vampires have this kind of black and white. They're either going to destroy their opponents or they're going to lose because of the sunlight. And that just makes them, like, I'd say decent villains. It's kind of like zombies in that the zombies are the collective. So there's this massive group of them, and they just die to a wound to the head or the brain.
Right.
But with vampires, they're singular. They're usually more individual-based, and they have this wide range of abilities. But instant contact with the sunlight, just dead. They either lose a limb or they're dead. And that's absolute.
Right.
And maybe Dio will end up being at a place where he's like, I'm going to go even beyond vampires. But I don't think that's going to happen. If it will happen, it won't happen anytime soon.
Sure. It really depends on how long they want this conflict with Dio to last.
Right. I could see them having a very satisfying end to Dio before they move on to whatever else, with him just with JoJo like kicking him into the sunlight.
Sure.
Or Dio being like, no, I will not die by the likes of you, JoJo. And then he like jumps and falls into the sunlight and like curses him on the way out or something.
Yeah.
That would be a very Dio egotistical way to go.
While striking a fabulous pose.
While striking the most fabulous of poses. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this episode.
Me neither.
No. Yeah, not really. I'm hoping that the next episode kind of brings more into the forefront, like more Hamon stuff, and maybe a little bit more with Zeppeli.
I want to see more ridiculous stuff with Dio. That's really like the shining thing for me.
Maybe we could see him actually going around turning people at the town.
I kind of hope for more than that.
Like what?
Well, because they've been doing all these like crazy things. Like every time we see Dio, he does something more crazy than before. Right. So it seems like him taking over the town, like it would be on a larger scale than anything we've seen before.
But it'd be pretty basic.
But it would be just more basic, run of the mill type stuff that we would expect.
Sure.
So
what could he do?
I don't know. But if he was able to
he could grow wings.
He could grow wings. Yes, he could
darken stuff like that.
He could darken the morning sky, sprout wings, and
I think he did that though. I think that was the point of this whole trap.
No, they waited for the sun to go down.
Oh, they did, but it went down really quickly.
Yeah. That was something that did happen.
Maybe actually the point was that the sun was already going down, but Poco's whole little escapade distracted them from noticing that the sun was already on their way of going down. Sure. And by the fact that they were at that cliff face and the sun was beyond the cliff face, it casts a shadow. Kind of use my hand as an
Okay.
example. See, the sun's over here.
Yeah.
Shadows over here. They can't see that it's necessarily getting dark until suddenly, now it's really dark.
Sure, and then Dio can do whatever he wants.
And he was already above the graveyard and everything.
All right, sure.
But, yeah, those rock pillars with Dio being on top of one of them, the tallest one at the most awkward
It just
angle.
kept going up and up and up.
That was hilarious. That was quite a pose and quite a perch to stand upon.
Yes.
But Dio kind of strikes me as one of those kind of fallen angel kind of characters who...
Except he never really was much of an angel.
Well, yeah, he's just kind of a demon, but having maybe some kind of a transformation of some point.
Yes, he needs to have at least one or two final forms.
No, just a transformation, not like some kind of a form change, just something that could add on to him.
Okay.
Like not like
wings.
Like
All
wings.
right, sure.
Or like, because he has the teeth. He could grow out his hair. His hair could grow more.
And his hair already did change color. Like
It
now
did.
it's more of white when it was blonde.
Well, there was a portion, I think it was just the lighting in the third
that might have been
episode
it.
or fourth episode when it was blue. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, and that is cool how they use colors like that.
Yeah. But I really want more of that Dio where he's kind of in his throne and he's being pushed by his creepy mind slaves. And
that
he's
was
kind
pretty
of
awesome.
Kind of like, yes, my plan is all called, blah blah blah, stuff like that.
Kaikaku.
Exactly. That kind of stuff is I kind of get a cackle out of it. I enjoy it in a funny, ironic
because
sense.
it's so dark overlord like
cheesy. It's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this was an interesting episode. If you want to see the next JoJo episode, go check out the link in the description below for Patreon early access. Also, check out our Discord. You might be able to get on there with us and talk about anime and stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool to see you there. All right, guys. We'll see you again next time. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.